What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another reaction video. If you guys haven't seen my latest video where I have a good talk with you guys about where I've been lately and what my plans are for the future on this channel, and also my second channel, which is called Your New Zealand Family, I'll link it down in the description, but make sure you guys go and check it out, subscribe, and leave a comment, and you know, just all that good stuff. And then yeah, we'll get straight into this one though. This one is the world's longest field goal. It's, I think it's a robot versus NFL kicker. It's by Mark Rober. I think he's kind of like a science guy, so I'm guessing he's going to crunch some numbers and, you know, find out the real, get down to the nitty gritty, all the details of kicking, I guess, which is pretty cool, because that's right up my alley, isn't it? So yeah, it's kind of perfect timing as well. A couple of days old, this video, so hopefully you guys, some of you guys haven't seen it along with me, so we can watch it for the first time together. But anyway, let's check it out.
This is Matt Prater. He's the place kicker for the Detroit Lions. He holds the NFL record for the longest field goal ever, which means he's really good at kicking footballs. And this is a robot I made, which, not to brag, is also really good at kicking footballs. So to settle who's better between the two of us, we're going straight to Detroit. Mano-a-mano, man versus machine. But to do that, I'm gonna need an 8-second travel montage. I arrived an hour before him to get the full NFL experience, and so I could soak up the fact that I had an entire stadium just to myself in the most professional way possible.
Casually fly a drone through your legs. Some sucker skills, eh? Been watching too many Kiwi kicker videos, mate.
We just got word Matt is about 10 minutes out. He thinks he's coming here just to teach me all about like the kicking mechanics and the science behind kicking field goals, which is partially true. I am curious. But the real reason I'm here is I built a machine that can kick really far field goals. I think it can kick it farther than any human. But if I'm really going to test that hypothesis, I need to be kicking against the one human that can kick field goals the farthest, and that happens to be Matt Prater. Originally, a guy named Tom Dempsey, who had a unique kicking foot, held the record with a 63-yard field goal, and no one could beat that for 43 years. But then Prater came along and beat his record by 1 yard with a 64-yard field goal in 2013.
That's long, man.
And he still holds the record nearly a decade later.
I think my record's like 55.
And not only did Matt show up, but to my absolute delight, he brought along his personal trainer. Who's this?
This is Pax.
What up, Pax? How are you, buddy? And so after I joined him for his standard warm-up and stretch routine, I went straight for the jugular. So do you practice just as much as everyone else on the team?
I definitely don't practice as much as everyone else.
Everyone on your team is watching this like, oh, you punk.
But he wants to be the kicker until it's the end of a game and you need a field goal.
Then I asked him how to kick really long field goals, and he said it all comes down to just two things.
Leg speed.
Leg speed.
First.
And leg speed makes intuitive sense, but then he told me the second critical factor is making contact 2.2 inches up from the bottom of the ball. Extensive research has been done that backs up these two factors as the most critical for maximizing distance. So after that, he showed me the proper technique to achieve those two factors.
So you come at an angle so your plant leg should be as close to straight as you can, and at this angle, so your kicking leg can be straight. So right when you're making contact with the ball, your kicking leg should be locking right at contact.
See. And where do you hit the ball?
So you'll hit the ball, you know, the little bone right in the middle of your foot?
Yeah, like right here?
Okay. Right there.
This will be the first time in my life I've legitimately attempted to kick a field goal. But after Matt's coaching, he made it seem
I'd actually like to see what Matt could do, like
soccer. And I like to play soccer. You shouldn't have done this, but you taught me everything you know. So I say we have a competition, me versus you. I thought
nice, this is what I wanted to see.
That Gatorade thing, it's got ice water in it. The loser gets dunked.
All right.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
You seem pretty confident.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
This guy sandbagging. So with that, we were ready to go, and this was his first kick, which he lined up left-footed, which didn't bode well for me.
Left-footed from 20 yards. Mate, you guys know me. You guys know that I can crack over 50 with both feet. I'd love to give Prater a go at a two-footed challenge, two-footed field goal challenge, man. Make that happen, guys. Just make it happen. I'd love it.
Yeah, because he's not left-footed.
Any NFL kicker, I challenge to a two-footed kicking challenge.
All right, Rober. Nope. Lace us out, Dan. I remember everything you taught me.
Yep.
I like that.
I like that.
Got it.
Nailed
Nice.
it. Moving back
Got it,
5.
mate.
This is a
You need to get lower.
25-yarder. They might say, Mark, what do you mean 25? You're only on the 15-yard line. And that's true, but the end zone itself is 10 yards, so you always include that with the kick distance.
Got some height on it.
Good shot.
All right, Prater, let's
All
see
right.
what you got, pal. Ignore this. Don't let
Sorry.
this bother you.
We can have a full conversation.
Come on, man. You gotta keep going with your left foot.
Oh, goodness, that was right in the middle.
Ooh, that was a bad kick, but I'll take it. Got it.
Got it!
Woo.
Okay.
35.
Bomb.
Past
Crushed it.
extra point now.
Oh, wow. So far, I don't know, our kicks look pretty similar.
Come back. Crushed
Good?
it. Got
Is
it.
that good?
Easy. With room to spare.
Nice.
No pressure. Oh, no.
Straight down the
almost
middle.
went
Look
over
at
the
that,
net,
man.
Now that we are back to a 45-yard field goal, I was just stoked to still be in this.
It's got that awesome height. Eh?
Oh,
Ooh, that was
short.
close.
What? Official review. I want an official review. But there's something I haven't told you. I'm actually a barefoot kicker. You never saw this coming, did you?
No.
It's like they've just gone and watched my videos and then they're...
In my defense, this was a super popular kicking style in the early
Mark
80s,
Rober must
so
be a
though
Kiwi
proven
Kicker
advantage,
subscriber.
No one really does it anymore. Except for me.
It's gotta be.
Get in.
Oh, crossbar.
No!
Doink.
Oh, not cool.
That's the worst sound you can hear as a kicker, too. Hitting the pole. Yeah, her crossbar.
Oh, that was heart-wrenching. At least the high speed looked kind of cool. And so here's Prater for the win. And just the perfect form.
Too easy.
All right, Matt. I thought the barefoot was going to be my trump card, but I'll concede. As it stands, I'm getting the Gatorade bath. But while I might not be good at kicking footballs, I am good at engineering, which technically means I'm really good at kicking footballs. Let's go, baby!
Oh, dude. He's put a
Okay.
mannequin on it.
And stop. This, now you come around back. Greatest kicker of our generation.
Oh, no way.
Finkel.
You're looking for Ray Finkel?
Oh, my God.
And a clean pair of shorts.
So now Prater knew the real reason I was here, but to truly understand what he's up against,
Oh,
we have to
that was
go
good.
back just about 1 year. Because that's when, with the help of my buddy John here, we tested our first prototype. John's really good with this kind of rugged, high-strength build, because he's worked in the industry doing props and special effects. And so at the end of that first day of testing, we could make a 60-yard field goal, but honestly, it was kind of just barely. We needed more power and accuracy because it was really inconsistent. But to understand how we fixed it, first you need to know how it works. Fundamentally, we've got a hub attached to an axle here. It can freely rotate, and if you slap a kicking leg on the end, they both rotate together. Then if you put a winch on this side connected to a wire
Yeah, I
that's
don't know, man.
attached to the hub here, and then
feel
springs
like-
on this side also attached to a wire that attached to the hub in the same spot, then
He
when
should-
the winch
he should
pulls
angle
down,
the
the
foot.
springs stretch out as the leg is cocked back into position.
Otherwise
Now
it's
we
just a
need
toe
a way
punch.
to fire the thing. A quick release is a hook system that easily unhooks when you pull a cord. So if we put one of those here and then pull the cord, the springs now contract, which makes the leg spin real fast. For version 2 of the robot, everything had to get much more rugged and compact
Oh, wow,
because
it's
we
changed.
doubled the force from the springs to over a ton. And when we went out to test this time, it definitely did have more power, and our 60-yarders were looking much more promising. But because the football was
Wow,
making
man.
contact off to the side of the leg, it still wasn't as accurate as we wanted.
Oh, okay, so that's why.
So for version 3, we changed how the foot attached, which allowed us to hit the ball straight on. We also tried to
Man.
determine the best foot diameter, as well as the best spot to make contact with the ball. But I still wanted even more power, which was tricky because there was already so much force that we busted our industrial strength quick release, which is why there's a loose bolt in the frame here, which is just never something you want to see. And so for the fourth and final version, we upgraded to a much beefier quick release, and then increased our spring force to 2 tons. We also
Wow.
got clever with some mechanical advantage by making
Gonna be
the
cracking like
diameter of the
100
leg
yarders.
socket twice as small as the driving sprocket. So it rotated twice as far, but in the same amount of time, which means we doubled the speed. With a big build like this, you are only as strong as your weakest link. So this process of prototyping, failing, and fixing helps flush out all the weak links as quickly as possible until hopefully there's none left. And so a year after we first started, this fourth version finally had the kind of power and accuracy I was hoping for.
That's like a punt.
Definitely pushing the physical limits in a few critical spots.
Hang time on that thing.
Though, it was time to give Mr. Prater a proper introduction. So Ray Finkel is my surrogate. This is what I couldn't do even with my barefoot. Let's see if old Ray here can do better. Now, I'm not abandoning everything you taught me here. Okay, 2 steps over. Okay, here we go. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Get up! That's my boy! That's my boy!
Wow, that looked really easy.
That looked pretty easy,
that looked really easy.
I hate to tell you, Matt, but that wasn't full power. In fact, that was only 1/3 power. For a half power demonstration, we went to the extra point location, where for reference, here is Prater, the mere human, kicking full power into the net, and then Finkel at half power, kicking it into the stands. And at this point, we'd poked the sleeping giant, because first of all, Matt suspiciously asked me to hold his next kick. Mommy. And secondly, after that 50-yarder, he continued working his way down the field, despite my best efforts to even further rig the competition.
Oh my god.
And it's good!
You have real bad golf etiquette.
I had this great idea to race with my buddy Paul Nurkala to get some drone racing footage of a field goal because he's the drone racing world champion, and that would just be so dope. This footage here is from a test session we arranged to see how cool it would look, and it turns out the answer is really freaking cool.
Oh man, that is so cool.
We didn't fly drone inside.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Imagination as Prater bombs this 60-yarder. Which meant the next kick attempt would be farther than his NFL record. And one of the things Matt does so well is that technically you want to launch the ball at 45 degrees to maximize the distance on a kick. More than that, and you waste your energy in height. Lower than that, and it hits the ground prematurely. In real life, though, where the ball experiences drag from wind resistance, the ideal angle is closer to 40 degrees, which you can see Prater has down to a science. This is 1 yard past the NFL record, which this man holds.
Oh, I hit off my toe. Get up.
It's good!
Is it in? I'll take it. We'll go back a little further.
You're crazy, dude. I'm putting on my rally cap for you, buddy. As much as I don't want to get
70
down
yards. What a freak.
And while Matt's taking a few attempts at this 70-yard field goal, let me just say that it's really special being in the presence of an elite athlete such as himself. Don't rule out barefoot here. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. These were honestly the first shots he'd missed all day from anywhere on the field.
Ooh.
No.
Dude, well done. So now that Prater was unsuccessful from 70 yards, Finkel rolled over to potentially win the competition and save me from an ice bath. Alright, here we go. A little bit of train horn for good luck and good measure. And this is where Matt got a little taste of Finkel's true range of motion.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
This was about 80% full power for him. That's all you gotta do, dude! That's all you gotta do! 3, 2, 1, hit it! Go, baby, go! And so even with the terribly inefficient launch trajectory, we'd settled the question of man versus machine. That's my boy! That's my boy!
Wow,
Finkel.
man.
The hang time, though, right?
The height on that ball.
I didn't think it was going to get there.
I know.
It's just
But since
unnatural.
Finkel had made the trip all the way out here, we decided to keep going and try his foot next at an 84-yard field goal, which is an even 20 yards past the NFL record. But first, we wanted to try and figure out the foot speed of Finkel versus Prater. So we recorded a few kicks in slow-mo with a checkerboard background behind it. This is a trick I learned while at NASA that they've used for ages, because if you know the size of each of those squares, it allows you to watch back the clip and tell the speed of any moving object in the footage by converting grid boxes per second 42 miles per hour. So when you do this, you find Matt's foot is moving at an insane 48 miles per hour, which puts him right up with the elite place kickers and soccer players. The robot's foot, however, is traveling more than 30 miles an hour faster at a blazing 82 miles per hour.
Wow,
we also measured the ball speed
fast.
after contact, and while Prater is at 80 miles per hour, which is again insanely fast, the robot clocks in at 120 miles per hour. Finkel could blast these balls at 120
Nice
miles
little
per
plug
hour.
there to
Here
your
was
store.
his first attempt from 83 yards, although still not quite at full power, and I'll explain why in a second. Okay, a little bit of horn. Now we're ready. 3, 2, 1. And when you see this, these balls were no Deflategate Brady specials. These were the most inflated footballs I'd ever handled. You could barely dent them in with your hand. It's just the pressure from the robot foot was that high.
I can't believe they're not bursting.
The first kick had the worst possible trajectory, and so the hang time was hilarious.
It's out of frame. Oh no, almost out of frame. That is insane.
We had quite a bit of energy up in the air.
Almost hit the roof.
We need to optimize this a bit. But straight as a gosh darn arrow. So for the next one, we arranged the foot to contact higher up on the ball so it wouldn't pop it up so much. But still not a full power kick. Go!
Mate.
Please. But this one was just short because it
Knuckleball.
knuckleballed and didn't pop up high enough. So now we knew exactly where to strike the ball to split the difference between those two, and we figured we might as well leave it all on the table and go full throttle. Which makes now a great time to explain why we weren't just doing this on every kick. On our last trip to the practice field, we were totally dialed in, as you can see here. I mean, that thing is suborbital. As a reminder, this is a
That doesn't come down
60-yard
with ice
attempt.
on it.
This is only 4 yards shy of the NFL record, and as you can see, we've got a little room to spare as we pass through the uprights. So then just for fun, we opened it up and sent all 2 tons of spring force through the machine and into the ball, which is when this happened. We're just going absolutely full, all of the power. 1! Oh my!
It's long gone.
Yes! If you watch that clip back, the ball landed here, but it had the height to clear the uprights right here. And you'll notice that's right above this unique pattern in the cement. And from the satellite view, that unique pattern is right here. Now we were kicking from the 50-yard line, so the question is, what is that distance?
That
well,
is
if
huge.
we borrow this convenient
Almost as
100-yard
long as the
measuring
field.
stick, then that kick would have gone through the uprights with no tee and a slight headwind from 105 yards away.
That is
now, this is a bit of a
insane.
good news, bad news situation, because on one hand, the ability to max out the robot and kick 105-yard field goals is amazing. But on the other hand, on the very next kick, this happened.
Oops.
The leg just fell out.
Something broke. Sheesh.
Basically, we sheared the key in the key shaft
Wow.
because of the whole 2 tons of spring force thing.
Game
And in
over.
case you're unfamiliar, this is the key. It's just a chunk of metal that gets wedged in here so that when the key shaft turns, the sprocket turns with it. So the final improvement would have been to swap the key shaft with a spline shaft because those distribute the load evenly among many surfaces as opposed to just one. Unfortunately, those spline shafts had a 2-week lead time, and we were flying to Detroit a few days after this. Right, Finkel, from 83 yards, full power plus a little more. 3, 2, 1. Oh! Oh!
Oh, on the leg.
Oh!
It's got to go through.
Here. I'm sorry, buddy.
What? It's shared for sure.
And sure enough, it was the key that was the culprit.
Yep.
Keys aren't supposed to do this. Like, that's bonkers. And so despite the explosive finale, I'm calling this a W. Not only did Robot Ray Finkel beat the NFL record with a 70-yard kick at sea level with no wind, but he did it at 80% power in a super inefficient kick trajectory.
That's a cool
On top
machine.
of that, even though he lost a couple freaking legs in the process, he showed he's capable of bombing a 105-yard field goal into a slight headwind right off the turf with no tee. And so with all that, honestly, I was willing to let Prater off the hook, because an argument could be made that I technically sort of cheated. But his son Pax was already way too excited about the prospect, which I thought was just fantastic, until it turned out he got off easy by comparison.
Got him. It's a bit of a long one, so thank you for sticking around. But it was a lot of fun. It was definitely, that was in my little world of things there on the kicking side of football. So I really enjoyed that. But man, one thing that really stood out to me that I absolutely loved, that I wish I'd thought of first, was chasing the football with a racing drone while you're doing field goals. That looks sick. That was awesome. It was kind of like a mix. If you don't know this, the YouTube channel Flight Test, where they chase, like, you know, different planes around that they make and build. So yeah, that was really cool. Really enjoyed it. So if you like this one, guys, make sure you hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you turn the notification bell on so you don't miss any future uploads. And I'll see you on the next one. See you later.